Hey, welcome back to Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast. I think Travis and I are going back a little bit, bringing out the NFL gear.
Busting out our affiliations, or
Yeah, probably should have done this a few months ago when it was like in the thick of season.
If we could get one of those sponsorships from like DraftKings or something like that, maybe we can start mixing in some gambling stuff every year.
Yeah.
We can start, talking about what lines we like, all that type of stuff. So.
Man, you'd be better than me. I'm not good at that stuff.
I'm not good at it either. Don't worry. And my wagers reflect it. They're very small.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. I rarely get on there and do anything, but when I do, they're very, very small.
Yeah, they're very small, but it's fun to have, especially when you're watching someone that you don't really have a rooting interest. It's fun to play, the different, parlays and things like that for guys to score touchdowns or get yards or whatnot.
That's what makes fantasy football fun too, because then you can look at it and go, well, I don't care about this game, but care about that guy.
But I care about that guy. You're sitting there and you're watching a blowout and your wife's like, "Why are you watching this?" Like, we need 23 more yards,
and I don't need that guy to score a touchdown.
Like, don't throw it to him. So, oh Lord,
obviously we're kind of ending up here on the NFL season.
Yep.
But your team caught my eye. I probably saw it maybe a day after you did.
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't keep up with the Bears as much, but I think it was actually the same week that the Panthers lost when the Bears won their game.
Yeah,
it was. Your quarterback got a game ball there.
Yeah, the wild card round when we knocked off the old cheeseheads there in the post game locker room. I always watch those because I love what Ben Johnson is all about.
Oh yeah,
right?
He's a
North Carolina guy, right? He went to Carolina. We'll forgive him for that. But I
didn't know that. You shouldn't have told me that.
Yeah, but he's from Asheville, North Carolina. So got a pull for the local guys.
For sure.
But they gave Caleb Williams, who I'm wearing his jersey here. That's my guy, right? But they gave Caleb Williams a game ball, and he was addressing the team. And he made a comment along the lines of, you play to get paid in the regular season, but you play in the postseason for your legacy, for your name.
Yeah, that's right.
And you and I were texting and said, that'd be a great podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw it immediately. I'm like, we got to love it when it says legacy anything, right?
It ties right in with our theme. And so we wanted to hop on here today to talk about independent agency owners and building your legacy.
Yeah, that's right.
And sort of tying that to that comment, right? Since it's that time of year, because I thought it was a good speech.
Yeah, I thought it was too. And you know what? The perk about being an independent agency owner is you don't have to make your money in as quick a period of time as an NFL player. You got a little bit longer time.
You got a longer lifespan.
You would hope to do that and to build your legacy to leave behind. And so certainly Caleb and any NFL player, there is a shorter lifespan to being a professional athlete.
There is. And we spend a lot of time talking to prospective members, whether they're existing or startup potentials. And one of the comments that I get about, why are you interested in it? Why did you do it? And it's the legacy. They want to build something to pass on in some capacity, whether it's family, whether it's to, a trusted employee, to, have a name in their community that outlasts them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Right. They're looking to build a legacy and kind of make their mark.
We see it a lot. Yeah. And I certainly believe that the independent insurance business was built that way. Is, a lot of agents are community based. They give back. They go to church in the community. Mm-hmm. Their kids play sports in the community. They want that name of helping the community, hopefully.
You mentioned sports, right? Growing up, my family has an agency. Our names were on the back of Little League's jerseys, right? Or on the shoulder or whatnot. And we still try to do that to this day with my son's teams, because you're a part of the community. And that's definitely a big part of the independent world.
Absolutely.
And I'd say the small business owner world.
Yeah, that's right.
So that it's not unique to us, but we wanted to really break down, okay, how do we equate the regular season to agency ownership, and how do we equate the postseason to agency ownership? And so that was really what sparked the idea ball for us for this podcast.
Yeah, I just like that he used legacy, building a legacy.
So, what is the regular season for an independent agency? How do they get paid? Right? What do they do to pay the bills? And kind of what we were looking at was, it's managing their book of business, right?
Absolutely.
It's handling the renewals, the remarkets, right? It's increasing their revenue. Oftentimes it's coming from rate increases, especially the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Not this year, I don't think.
Yeah, not which is hey, that's okay, right? And then it's working with their carriers, trying to make sure they're keeping their carriers happy along the way, and then running the business, managing expenses, right? I mean, I think those are pretty. You got to do that, right? That's your checkbox.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That's what you do to pay the bills.
Yeah, you definitely got to do all the checkbox items.
Yeah,
but there are things to your point of, all right, now what do we do so that way, long after this is gone, or when it's time to perpetuate this agency, it's a lasting business.
Yeah.
It can be that legacy that hopefully this person wants, the owner wants.
I think one of the things that owners need to ask themselves when they're operating on a day-to-day basis, what if I step out?
Yeah.
Is the agency going to continue growing? Is the agency going to continue having success? And if the answer to that's no, you really haven't built a legacy. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. And then I would also add to that is when you step out, what are people going to say about you? Is point. What are your relationships with not only your employees, but what are your relationships with the insurance carriers and your partners out, or even your clients out in town? Is what are people going to say about you when you do step out?
Yeah, that's a great point. If the good things aren't said, right? If the agency can't continue operating, growing, what have you built?
Yeah. What have you built?
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You've built an agency that funds your lifestyle, which we see a lot of agents like that.
Yeah.
The kind of term is a lifestyle agent, it funds your lifestyle,
and maybe there's nothing wrong with that. That's certainly obviously with our title of the podcast and certainly what we do, we are wanting people to build a legacy. That's what we love.
Yeah.
But there may not be anything wrong with somebody being a lifestyle agent. So we're not saying that. But then don't get to the end of the road and be like, well, now I want to sell and I need, 1 million times my revenue for this because I got the most amazing agency in the world. I'm like, well, hold on a second. Right. You chose the whole time to spend this and do it this way to be a lifestyle agency. And now all of a sudden you think it's worth 1 million times? Like, no, not going to happen.
Right. Self-awareness. And I think we've mentioned in other podcasts, you've got to have that conversation with yourself of what you're building your agency for.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's part of this topic is, you've got to know what you're building your agency for. And if your legacy is important to you, you've got to start doing things today to build the legacy.
Yeah, I agree.
And when we look at that, again, we see, especially with the market we've been in and over the last several years, we've seen a lot of agents look at their, generate more revenue and grow from rate increases while they manage their book of business. That's been their I'd say sole focus.
Right.
We've seen the organic growth slip, right? And so, for you to build a legacy, you've got to create an engine that is consistently creating organic growth and new revenue from new opportunities, not just relying upon your current book of business to just take rate and grow from there.
Yeah. Or them to keep adding vehicles to their commercial lines policies or whatever you have it.
Correct. So,
I'd agree with you there.
You've got to have a strong, steady stream of organic growth in growing consistently year over year. And part of accomplishing that is building the systems and processes within your agency that drive that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the talent inside your agency. I mean, so I think that point, and then you going back to when you step away, if you're not building the talent around you, what do you have left to sell?
Yeah.
That's really, there's nothing there at that point. If you step away and there's nobody to fill your shoes,
the agency becomes over reliant on you for everything.
Yeah.
And then to your point, when you step away, it crumbles because the infrastructure has not been built.
You were the everything.
You were everything, which
that could be accountant, bookkeeping, that could be HR,
the janitor. You are everything. So, I think that's an important piece to it is building those processes. And like you said, building your talent, matriculating your talent, growing your talent, empowering your talent to be successful and operate so that you can, I would say, stop working in your agency and work on your agency.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Look, and I think the last piece I really had was we talked about profit sharing. Mm-hmm. We've talked about the 5 layers of compensation. So Go back and listen to those if you need to know what those are. But when you do get this money in, I think somebody that's building a legacy is reinvesting
it. You got to have that cash to grow, that capital to grow, reinvest continually to reinvest in your agency. Don't just do it one time.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen it both ways where people will go, you've said it before, is they get this check in from profit sharing. Man, what do I do with it?
Yep.
And all of a sudden they go put in a brand new pool or buy a boat or new cars or whatever. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's fine if you were getting a ton of money and you just spent that portion, because you should reward yourself to some level. But is the ones that are building their legacy look at going, okay, what new systems do I need? What talent do I need to hire?
What marketing plan? What technology can help me be more efficient within my agency? That list can go on.
It is, but those are things we see from somebody building their legacy while they're right here doing it.
They're making strategic investments in their growth.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Go put a pool in by all means. If you got $500,000 of profit sharing, go put you a pool in. Not for $500,000, but put your pool in if that's what you want. But take a lot of that money and go, okay, how do I just start compounding this to do good for the community, hire the right people, the right processes, and your agency is going to continue to grow, hit that organic growth like you're talking about. It starts hitting, to your point, all the buckets.
Yeah, all the buckets, right? And you're diversifying your carrier relationships. You've got strong carrier relationships. To your point, if you do walk away, they're going to say good things about you. They're going to say good things about your agency because you've shown them the love and shared in the wins with them, right? And that's going to put you in the best position possible for whatever you want the next evolution of the agency to be.
Well, and then people are going to want the next person, the next generation, maybe. Mm-hmm. Maybe when you step into a different cycle and you're still your agency, could be all those things, but you're going to want to continue that path.
You're right.
And I think that's what that legacy is about, is not somebody coming in or you walking in one day and like, I'm scrapping everything we did. Now we got this, we got to start new and we're throwing it all away. We're moving buildings. We're firing all these people. It's like, no. The legacy is built to continue to operate.
It's one of those, you hear this word thrown around called potential. Right. And that word can mean a lot of things. And I think you want people to view your business as a potential, whether they're an employee, a perpetuation plan, a buyer, whatever it is. We want people to view our businesses as a potential to take to the next level, not a potential of what it can be.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to do that by having the organic growth, having the systems in place, having the right talent.
You have a good base.
Correct.
You have a good base. And like you said, now we got to,
Now we're leveling up to the next area. So,
yeah, that's good. Well, I think Caleb prompted this episode.
He did.
Glad you're representing.
I was going to say, maybe we can get him on here one day. Right? We can do an interview.
We always talk about getting guests in. I mean, that may be the ultimate.
Just a little small ask, right?
I'll let you do that episode with them. I don't know if I'd steal that from you. How about that?
We probably won't talk a lot about insurance.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, look, we're going to see you next week. Hit the like button, subscribe button, leave us comments. If you know Caleb, tell him to hit Travis up. All right. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. You can catch our Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, or send us over a topic recommendation at podcast@siaofnc.com. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, visit us online at www.siaofnc.com. We hope you enjoyed our newest episode. See you next week.